Welcome everyone to Mom Spaghetti. Here on Free Enterprise, we have Vitasia and Garen. Uh, we have a lot of objectives on our plate here, and with B is Sheep Luncher, I am Professor Renderer. Uh, let's talk about it here. This is a boss hunt seed.
Yeah, Vitasia making a rare appearance as a player. He is the admin of this club. This is kind of his baby, as usual. We have 10 objectives. Our players have to complete 5 of them, and it seems like there are going to be a lot of different ways to do it because there are 7, count them, 7 boss hunt objectives, as well as the demist that will contain a key item in this flag set. So we'll get into it, but our runners are off. Edward is joined by a twin. Evil Wall gives the package, and we are underway. We're glad to have you with us.
Oh, I'm glad to be here as well. Yeah, starting with a vanilla package, which is fun because we get to see another character because we have one of our characters being getting edge. So character checks are also in a factor.
Yeah, we know Edge is going to be somewhere in the seed, and that is an objective. No free character spots, so you at least have to defeat a boss in order to get to him. But as objective way reminding us, this is omnidextrous. That means uh, our characters can equip everything. That does make Edward a little more palatable, joined by that white mage Porum.
Garen and Vitasia taking two different ways in the watery pass. Vitasia heading to the front while Garen is going through the back. Trying to get some checks done here.
Yeah, the treasures are wild, although about 30% of them are not filled with anything. Vatacia's already found a ribbon in the front of Watery Pass, which is nice to have. You can equip those on your feet on Dexterous if you want. And Garen has moved on to Dempsey Castle.
Yeah,
We are joined. Go ahead, Professor.
Oh no, you can go.
I was just going to say we are joined by our tracker Darth Plagle and our restreamer Aaron Loy for this broadcast here on a Saturday afternoon. With so many boss hunts, we will probably get to see a good part of the world, but who knows where they're going to show up. We might have 2 objectives in easy places like the waterfall or the Mist Cave. It's really anybody's guess how quickly this will be over, but I think both runners are on notice that this seed can't be over in a hurry, so no time to dally.
Yeah, and this has been the nature of this club. This could be over in very quick, or this could be we've been here for the long for a long time, but it's just the nature of the beast here.
Little surprised that nobody has checked the package yet. That is a character check. We are looking for an edge, and you know right away if that's going to happen. Now, with so many boss checks, there is a decent chance that one of the bosses could be hiding behind that package. So if that edge shows up at the package and you have to sit through that cutscene anyway, that could be a nice chance to get 2/5 of your objectives done. And Vatasia taking on that ribbon he found in the front of Watery Pass, going to check the waterfall, and those are the Magus Sisters, which is not one of the objectives. And we have a boss hunt success. This is Bahamut in a very easy spot for Bahamut. Even these 2 characters should be able to deal with this.
With it being pretty early on, this will be a very easy fight. Just because Bahamut's HP is super low.
And again, another early boss check turns into an objective. Octomam is on top of Mount Hobbs. There's also a Kane up there, something this party needs anyway.
And with Kane being in the with Kane and ambidextrous, Kane is a very viable option.
Very much so. Just get him a couple of decent things to swing around, and suddenly he will be the main damage dealer in this party. I don't recall seeing any lances of note yet, but with T Wild, they're around somewhere. And, you pick up something like a defense sword, even an ice brand, something like that will make Kane very, very useful.
Garen, go ahead.
Garen heading into Troya. And gonna check out the free treasury over here. Not a bad play with the T Wild on. There's a very concentrated collection of 8 treasure boxes over here, although the sparse has hit this one particularly hard.
Fantasia heading down the Antlion Cave to get the Bahamut fight out of the way.
And so, Professor, Fantasia is about to realize he has 2 objectives completed. And so, that's got to ramp up his blood pressure a little bit. What would your next move be here?
For me, I think since we don't have any key items that would give us any other new checks that we could do outside of our opening ones, I'd probably say just take the normal route and just go and do head into Fabul to try and check the boss there.
Yeah, and in a seed like this, I would be tempted to make that trek up Ordeals. Not only a decent selection of treasure, try and find something sharp for that Kane to swing, but 3 boss checks up there, plus a key item. You don't know who, if anybody's going to benefit from it at the end. We don't know if Cecil or Teller are even in this seed, but we know we got to hunt bosses. So as soon as I felt comfortable, that would be at the top of my mind.
Yeah, so Fantasia's going to head over to Fabul here. I think after this, you probably go Bardio, knowing this is a boss hunt seed. Garen's gonna take a look at this package. It is a Rosa, so not particularly important.
No, we already have a white mage, although Rosa's certainly a better white mage in a lot of respects, but the Omnidextrous kind of cuts down her physical prowess advantage over Porum a little bit. Porum also learns Exit normally instead of needing a storyline to do it. So Garen not going to sit through that just to find out who the boss at the end is. And so Tella is hanging out in Baron Inn, just chilling with Dark Knight. And Dark Knight first here is going to hurt. Garen going to try and knock him down, but not going to be fast enough. And Fantasia found an Excalibur in the Fabul shop, I believe. That will certainly help.
Oh yeah, with Excalibur being this early, being available in Fabul, that is a great find, just so that Kane can start doing more damage.
And Earthhammer for Garen in Castle Eblin. Not much of note otherwise there. Waterhag invading Fabul. Fantasia cuts that down. does get a full heal out of it and gets the hook out of it. The hook will bring Vatasia back, but not really a reason to start exploring the hook route yet, unless he wants to go all the way down and check out who that character is. It could be a Vanilla Edge.
Yeah, I think if you were to go with this route, like go check the hook, you would. It's better just to do the edge, just search for the edge there. So,
and that would certainly be a situation where having that Tella from Baron Inn before you go down there would be very preferable because nobody has access to exit yet. And in case you missed it, Garen did check Mist Cave. Found Mylon and friends down there. We're looking for Mylon Z, so no help. A poison axe for Garen. That's certainly something to put on the cane when he gets it.
Yeah, I think with this, the poison axe is great for K as well. It's another high damaging weapon.
Yeah, not exactly the most accurate, but we'll get the job done. And so Vatasia going to try his hand at dealing with this Dark Knight in the first spot, and this spot only has 400 HP. And so that Dark Knight goes down quickly before it gets off a second Dark Wave. Nicely done by Vatasia, but now the computers will have their revenge. CPU in the second spot. And this is super annoying.
Yeah, although the HP is split up amongst the attacker and defenders, this is still a tough fight.
Yeah, slow here, but speed isn't really the problem with CPU. There's a ton of HP here, most of it in that back thing. So you have the back row kind of issue, and Kane's going to get to jumping, but it's still going to take him 4 jumps, maybe 3 if he's lucky. Garen gets through the Dark Knight at the second time of asking. Very nicely done. Garen's still rocking 2 characters. Has not gone up Hobbs yet. Does not know that Octomam is up there. Want to welcome in the Raiders from Xenocat. Hello, Xenocats and Kittens. This is Mom's Spaghetti Club with Vatasia and Garen. Vatasia already has 2 the goals done. A lot of boss hunts here. You only have to do 5 in order to win the game. And already, Bahamut was in Antlion Cave, Octomam on top of Mount Hobbs.
We end up putting a rat tail off of the Bull Inn. Or sorry, the Baron Inn. Sorry, or me.
Yeah, that's a reason to summon the hovercraft. Do you think?
Yeah, there's a good reason to get that hovercraft going so that you can see what that item leads to.
And Vatasia going to do the double check here with the Mist Cave and the package. Now we know there's going to be a whole lot of resetting. This Mist Cave is Mylon and Friends, and the package does not contain the edge that we need. Instead, it contains Rosa. So, sorry to spoil everything for you.
It's 2 quick checks, so it's not that bad. So, you can get them out of the way pretty easily, and then you're just off to do something else.
Yep, it's absolutely worth doing, especially on this flag set where the bosses are going to be, checking every boss is going to be so essential. And 40 GP in the Chocobo Forest. Just some loose change there. Vitasia not going to waste any more time, going to head right up Mount Ordeals. And theoretically, this could be the game. There could be 3 required bosses up here, and that would be it.
Yeah, you would only need to find you had to find either Golbez, either find Mom Bomb, find Dr. Lugia, find Mylon Z, and then or Wyvern. There's a lot of bosses, boss options here.
Yeah. And remember, D-Mist does contain a key item. Well, this is not a required boss in any sense. This is either Elements or Rubicante. It is all 4 of the elements. 1/4 leg.
This won't be too bad because King can just jump and then all of a sudden they're gone.
And had a flame spear or something, because that Mylon just evaporated an elemental weakness hit. And if you're not going to get an objective done, that's about as good as it can go. And on the back attack, D's Lunars, also super annoying.
So that is one of the sparkles out of the way. Not exactly the one that we're looking for, but that does reduce the amount of sparkles that are in the pool right now.
Yeah, and again, and our restreamer Aaron Lore pointing out that with the Omnidextrous flag on, Kain is rocking a Dragon Whip and a Flame Spear, so hitting both of these elemental weaknesses on both on Mylon and definitely on D's Lunars, and makes quick work of those. They could be very problematic with the wrong party in that spot, but Kain bringing enough to the table to vaporize those undead dragons. And so one more boss left for Vitasia in the changing room. Garen took care of the Water Hag invading Fabul. You would think Water Hag would bring a little bit of backup to invade a whole castle.
There's a spoon.
It's an interesting spoon. And look, in the changing room, there are dolls.
Of which we could just Zeus rage them.
And in fact, that is what Vitasia does. Easy peasy. I believe Vitasia also has a Gaia drum that would have been just as effective. Yeah, J item for the win there. So the spoon is interesting, but no closer to getting the objectives done.
Yeah, so that ended up being a zonk in and of itself. So I think at this point, Vitasia probably starts going for those hook options.
Yeah, nowhere else to go on the overworld unless Vitasia really committed to the Rex Banner special, doing the going up to the first spot in the Tower of Zot. That would be a very low percentage play. Maybe if there were more objectives in the bank, that might be worth it.
Yeah,
but
otherwise,
check of the rat tail.
Yeah.
Oh. At least go shopping here. Lots of shops, and the shops are wild. No apples for sale, but virtually anything else can be. And Starveil's for sale. Vitasia wants some of those. Garen now.
Sorry.
Garen now looking at the D Lunars. Kain would really help. Kain with a Flame Spear and a Dragon Web. But Garen gonna have to deal with it another way.
what I was gonna say though is that on Vitasia side we do see Baka Swine, so that's a spot that we can use, or at least some info that we can get.
Yeah, that's very nice to have wine, especially with that powerhouse of a Kain, especially against some tough bosses, maybe even on the Giant, which is an objective. You're going to want Kain swinging both those weapons as much as he can. And Eblan Castle is the play for Vitasia. Remember, Monster in a Box could have it could have a key item. And these monsters in a box, there are 3 of them in Eblan Castle. They could be anywhere. The vanilla chests are not on. And Garrett does it. Very nicely gets through D Lunars.
So one thing that Vitasia has over Garen is that Garen couldn't had to reset out of the fights that that had monsters in a boxes in. Whereas Vitasia, because he's got a Kain, he can just go ahead and just take them head on.
Yeah, so Garen will have to double dip Eblan Castle, especially if there's anything of interest in here. But yeah, Kain chugging that wine and making quick work of the Mad Ogres, Tella living that Tella life, whiffing on a stone.
And takes a dirt nap as a result.
Yeah, Mad Ogres really get mad when they feel like they're being targeted. Another Dragon Whip. Nice to have, but Vitasia already has one of those. And it's doing Bafo damage for him. And yeah, Vitasia putting Tella in that middle slot with Tella not getting any levels from that fight. It's the ideal time to make him an anchor.
Yeah, this makes a whole lot of sense to have Tella as an anchor, because Tella is a great option for anchoring.
Yeah, pretty much always. This Staleman not messing around, but Kain finally gets a turn and that Staleman goes down. Again, not a key item, just a black shirt. So our runners are looking for a Darkness Crystal, they're looking for a Pink Tail. Otherwise, we're not really sure what else we need. An Earth Crystal would be helpful. 2 bosses and a key item check. Baron Key would be very helpful. Another 3 bosses and key item.
Yeah, there's a lot of good options there that we can find for bosses.
Power Key would be nice, but it's not really mandatory. And our tracker, Darth Plagueis, pointing out both of those areas have at least 1 character check as well. And
Garen,
that's a...
Yeah, Garen is looking at a Samurai Beat right there. Yeah, I had the same thought process.
Super interesting. Nobody's made the trip to Kaipo yet to see who is in the bed, but Garen immediately gonna head toward that part of the world. Gonna stop in Troya first. And again, this Kain for Vitasia, really the MVP, just mowing down everything in front of him. So the monsters in a box in Eblan Castle, pretty much useless here. And Garen is going to make that Rex Banner special with the key item in a monster in a box. There is the Flame Dog up here, but we don't know where. And it could be hiding in a really out-of-the-way spot. It looks like it's going to be. So this might be a little bit more of a time investment than Garen was bargaining for.
Yeah, with it being in the three rooms, a little bit up before the Mega Sisters fight. This just takes quite a lot to find, or just be right here. That works too.
Yeah, not the easiest place, but also not the toughest. So we have two monsters in a box on the screen. The wrong crystal. Not like the right crystal matters anyway, but a crystal ring is good to have. Once again, monsters in a box being very stingy with the items.
Yeah, which is with ambidextrous that you don't want that to happen, where you can't find any of your power weapons off of your monsters in a box.
And Garen going to head back down without checking that first boss.
We found Edge
in the vanilla spot. And that's a Leviathan behind him, not a required boss. So the hook route cannot bring the win game, at least not yet. But not only is that an objective, Edge will round out this party quite nicely.
Oh, definitely. Edge is by far one of my favorite characters. Even with when ambidextrous is turned off, he's by far one of my favorite characters. The Sand Ruby may not be required, but that does give us a nice option in Fusoya.
Yeah, and those are our 7 characters. There are 7 distinct characters, and we found them all. They are Edward, Porom, Hela, Fu, Edge, Kain, and Rosa. So no Yong, but we knew that already. No Cecil. No Palom. And so your kind of red mages are really your source for black magic here. No Rydia either. And Garen gonna head back into Mist Cave, wants to power up that Fu as quickly as possible.
This makes sense because you have a really easy fight in My London Friends just right there. So it's better just to get the fight going so that that Fusoya gets more of his magic and his HP up.
Oh, his body. And did Vitasia already find the Mad Ogres on the way down, or does he not care about them right now? King Queen Eblan in their vanilla spot. So Edge joins the party just in time to have his heart broken.
It's kind of ironic how they're both Edge and King Queen are in their vanilla locations, just so that it's almost kind of like the vanilla game.
All right, so here's my suggestion. I'll put this in the suggestion box. For the Mom Spaghetti Club, whenever Edge is in the party and they find King Queen Eblan should be holding a plate of spaghetti.
I'm down for that.
I'll just drop that in the box. Vatasia can take it or leave it. Leviathan here in the second spot. And so now, Vatasia only needs 2 more objectives. Our restreamer Aaron Lore pointing out in chat, he might just be looking to face check at this point, and there are enough open bosses at this point that he can do that. Certainly 2 in Dwarf Castle. He can see who's on top of the tower before committing to that climb. There are 2 in the Land of Summoned Monsters. So at least for now, face checking is a viable option.
Yeah, and I think with you now at 3 of 5 to win, I think it's better just to go and just check those bosses now, especially the ones that have multiple bosses in them, just so that you can get some more information about it and get some boss checks down out of the way. Hopefully you don't have to. Hopefully they have some of the bosses there, because there's at least, as it stands right now, about 5 available.
Yeah, 5 that are pretty available right now, just in the underground.
Yeah, so there's a good reason just to stay undergrounds, just to get information out.
And so Leviathan goes down, Vatasia through to the underworld, and while Vatasia attempts to navigate this pitfall, I want to say thanks to our restreamer Aaron Lore, our tracker Darth Plagle, and thank you to you, Professor Renderer, for being with me here on a Saturday afternoon. Fast-paced, high-energy Mom Spaghetti race, just the way we like them. Both runners have to feel like, right around the corner could be the bosses they need to win this game.
Checking on the top of Lower Bevel, there's Odin.
Not a requirement. So the tower, even though the tower has 5 key item checks, with key items also being in Monsters in a Box, it's not a priority right now, I don't think, for Vatasia.
No. There's no way it's a priority. With it being one boss that is available, you're better off just heading to one that has multiple bosses, like this Dwarf Castle that we're seeing right now.
Yeah, instead of having one boss that isn't that you don't need, you can have 2 bosses that may be the ones you need. Wyvern, Mylon Z, Dr. Luge, Mombomb, Golbez. Where you at? Batisia's gonna do a little shopping. What do you think he's looking for here?
I don't know. There's a lot of options that are there, but I think he saw cabins and wants them badly.
Yeah, he did just use a tent outside of Dwarf Castle. If he had cabins available, certainly would have used those. That is a blue robe. That is an alt gauntlet, and suddenly this Dwarf Castle becomes much less friendly. This will just take a long time.
Yeah, it's not the robe that we wanted, and especially it's not the robe that we wanted just because we have to go through 5 different bosses, 5 different encounters.
Yeah, and with each encounter, you're like, I want to be done with this already. Oh, an Avenger for sale in Ebla Cave. And I don't think Vatasia checked this.
No.
Garen not going to pick one up either. Still doesn't have that cane.
Yeah, and this has been the one thing that's been holding Garen back a little bit. It's not a major issue, but it is something that it's less power that Garen could have had. Granted, Fusoya is still a decent option.
Yeah, Garen's certainly happy about that. Fusoya won't turn up their nose at it. But yeah, this Kayn has been wrecking shop for Vitasia for almost this entire seed. Plus, that has brought Vitasia one step closer to winning the game.
Yeah, it's just because of the power of Kayn, ambidextrous, it makes it a lot more better for him to get through encounters, and even still, we even have an edge that's putting in some work too.
Yeah, Garen about to come upon that edge. Hey, Professor, do you know the difference between a tortoise and a turtle?
I don't know.
Well, Vitasia didn't just kill a turtle. That's the difference.
Oh, I see where we're going with this. Okay.
And this should be the last fight, I believe. 3 black lizards. Garen finally able to check off that second objective. Getting Edge. Don't join the party, Edge. You don't know what's at the end of this tunnel. And the 3 blue robes do the dance of death. And this is an objective. This is Mom Bomb.
And
there's Fu.
Yeah, so that's just immediately Tella just out of the party.
Tella, your floor inspecting abilities were just impressive, but we have Tella Plus now.
So at this point, with you now being at 4 objectives, potentially 5 if this becomes Pinktail. I think at this point you go if this doesn't turn out to be the Pinktail, you go down to the Feymarch, check the summon bosses.
Absolutely. The warp glitch is on, so it might be worth checking out what's in the crystal room if this is not a Pinktail. I mean, if it's a Pinktail, you just go ahead and trade it in immediately and win the game. And Garen checking the 4 Mad Ogres, just a Siren, which is not helpful because we don't really have to do much grinding. Remember, the 5 objectives doesn't get you the crystal, it wins you the game. So the game will be over as soon as those 5 objectives. You definitely don't want to waste any time grinding if you don't have to. And I don't think either of these parties has to.
Yeah, I think at this point it's just better to just go and just if this turns out to be the Pinktail, and either off of Luca or down in the out in the COK through warp, this just, you don't have to do anything else. Just, we're done here.
The one thing that could have backfired on Vitasia taking that Fu over Tella is if, for whatever reason, Fu didn't have warp yet. Luckily, that is not an issue. Fu has warp, and it doesn't matter anyway. Just a Bahamut summon. Rydia not here. Just a rock. That's a pan. So that will be good for chasing key items, but it absolutely does not force Vitasia to deviate from the plan of going to Feymarch.
No, there's no reason to, because there's no reason to go up to Feymarch, or I guess we are going to be turning this pan in.
I don't think this is a pan check. It would go to Sylph Cave first if it was.
Or right, yeah. I mean, so I guess this is probably. What is this for? All right, is this just to get the Enterprise? Okay, yeah, that get it. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, gonna move that to the Adamant Grotto. Maybe check the rat tail while he's there. And it looks like it. Now, this Sand Ruby will not tempt him. I think he's very happy with this party. He has no need to check it to see if Edge is there.
No, and especially considering that now Vitasia doesn't know this, but since Sand Ruby has Fusoya, I think even then Vitasia's party is pretty much complete. He doesn't need to do anything else.
And I'm just checking. Yeah, duplicates are allowed. So if you really wanted another Fusoya, but I don't think that's something he especially needs right now.
There's no need for it, honestly. Yeah.
Putting Porum in the middle as an anchor.
Yeah, with the Drain Spear on, so that she becomes an anchor.
Yeah, with Omnidextrous, that kind of agility lowering gear is now available to her. She can be weighed down by it. So yeah, the reason I think that the Feymarch is so attractive here is because the number of key items that you need are vanishingly small. They are the Pink Tail and the Darkness Crystal. That's it. That's all you need.
Kate 7 is also on.
Yes. So might end up fighting these bosses, even if looking at their faces, we know that they're not what we need.
Ideally, if we're heading towards a key item finish, we would want to see Pink Tail. Now, we don't want to see the Earth Crest or the Giant, even though that does give 2 bosses. Those are pretty long bosses. There is a Sparkle. Is this the correct Sparkle? No, it is not.
No. So Vitasia reset out of it, but not leaving the Feymarch. Gonna take on the Karate Man first. Now, Karate here, gonna pack a punch. And in fact, he's gonna go after Plague first. Now, Fusoya has Nuke. So this fight can be over quickly. I think Vitasia can win a damage race.
I think there is no question that a damage race will be won here. Just there's a lot of damage coming towards that Plague.
Yeah, the only problem with a damage race here in Mom Spaghetti is sometimes you get marinara all over your face. And gonna try and zerk up everybody to make sure those counts never resolve.
Yeah, just because it's all reliant on the ATB triggering, and if the ATB is all loaded up by a bunch of characters swinging, then the count will take very, very slow to proc.
Now, as a reminder, there are 3 racers in today's event. We have 2 featured racers. There are no finishers yet. So Vitasia still in that driver's seat now. 2 of did not get a chance to zerk Fu or Porum, so they go down in a heap. But with everybody else zerked, this Plague is done for. Just a matter of time. Never have to worry about that 0 turning into a heap on the floor. Fu amazingly still has spells to learn. A white spear is very nice if there are additional unholy monsters. But Fatej not even going to check that Karate Man.
I think
Karate Man in that spot is a little tricky.
Yeah, I think this makes a bit more sense just because karate hits really hard, and you also have the ability to do multiple key item checks with this pan.
Yeah. Will he check any chests on the way down? See if a random Toad Lady pops up? No. Eyes directly on the prize.
Yeah, any checks of monsters in the box would only waste time at this point.
Hey, here comes the bonk. That's a key item, not the one we need.
Yeah, that is one have a forge, but yeah.
Yeah, no reason to mess around with forge. The weapons you have access to now, more than enough to get the job done. And so Fatej, you're going to see what Sheila has in store for us.
Yeah, so this has to yield either. So if this is a key item finish, then Paint Tail is ideal. Otherwise, any key item that gives up boss checks is also works.
An Earth Crystal. Go fetch. And we do have a first place finisher. Roger McBain has finished in first place with a time of 45:51. GG's to Roger.
Well played to Roger.
Yeah, joined the race at the last second and pips both Vatasia and Garen to the line. Have to see how he did it. But Vatasia is going directly to that Earth Crystal. Garen did not check the first boss while he was up here. Garen now encountering Mom Bomb, and now Garen's Fu is nuke operational.
And Vatasia is now heading up to Tower of Zot with that Earth Crystal in hand.
Yeah, don't think Vatasia has any other choice here.
No, like there's as far as Vatasia is concerned, Vatasia has already done enough stuff, and a lot of the things that he did not yield anything. So while Garen is still Vatasia is still in the driver's seat with when it's matched up against Garen, I think you're just gonna follow the key items to see what it leads to, because there's not really any good spot that you could do.
Yeah, the rest of Vatasia's plays are all low percentage. You know, there's that Karate Man. We don't know if that will lead to anything. There are the Sylph chests that we don't know what they'll lead to. They're low percentage. Just Valvalis in the first spot. There are the Tower chests and the Tower Odin. Again, pretty low percentage. So Fantasia made the commitment to this pan, really has to see it through. So Garen now at 3 out of 5 goals, and remember, Garen would be at 4 of 5 goals if Garen had ever checked Hobbs. So Garen not only lacking that cane that Vatasia has used quite effectively throughout the whole game, but also missing an objective because Octoman was up there. And Valvalis still vulnerable in this position to being injured through the Cyclone. And in fact, Vatasia never bothers to get her out of the spin. And
it is a
all
relative
foods are at full power.
Yeah, it's relatively low defensive when in tornado stance.
So Vatasia gets old information that Mom Bomb is in the second spot in Dwarf Castle. And Tella's like, "You want me back, don't you? You don't honestly believe Fu's better than me." Gets another edge there. Garen, because Garen is still 2 objectives away, Garen doing a lot of these monster in a box checks, seeing if a key item will pop up out of there, doing the Warrior's chest now.
And there's Golbez. This will be over after this fight's over. This is over.
What a way to finish, with Golbez just talking your ear off, laughing in that stupid way he does.
So yeah, that is gonna do it after this. Once this is complete, then yeah, I don't even need to say it. Just let the Shadow Dragon do its thing. Bring back anyone who falls.
Yeah, this is not a done deal. Really unfortunate targeting the Kane and the Fu. But somehow 3 folks still alive, including that Edge. So I don't know if Edge has any elemental weaknesses on him, but the magic power here, no joke. And Vatasia has just enough Star Veils. And so now Vatasia should be able to see this through.
Yeah, this will be complete. Just yeah, and even Golbez is asking why, because of the attack that got reflected back. This is over.
It is the slow fade out, but Vatasia will be caught in the crumbling tower forever.
With Golbez.
And Vatasia finishes with an official time of 53:03. First place on the restream, second place overall in Mom Spaghetti. GG's to Vatasia.
Yeah, it was all about just figuring out which boss it was, and and the pan was just the correct answer.
Yep. The pan did just enough to get Vatasia to that last boss objective. Will be interesting to see where the other ones were hiding, but it looks like Garen going to chase that pan right away now, not messing with that Karate Man either. We'll see if we can get Vatasia in here for an interview. But Garen going to turn in that pan, find the Legend Sword that Yong has been hiding underneath the bed. Now, in a boss hunt seed, sometimes it would be nice for the post roll to let us know where all these bosses were, but the seed is available to you to play through if you're really curious about it. And while Garen chases this pan, once again, do want to thank our restreamer Aaron Lore, our tracker Darth Plagle. Thank you to my co-commentator Professor Renderer.
This has always been it's always a fun one. It's usually quick, pretty simple. It doesn't really take much out of my day, and the nature that's why I like doing these.
Yeah, and the whole point of the Mom Spaghetti Club is to have these kind of seeds where you don't know going into it really what it's going to look like, but you know there are going to be lots of opportunities for variance, lots of opportunities to make a decision, and just kind of high anxiety throughout, which is a fun way to play. Pinktail behind the Twin Harp, so that would have been a chain of some kind. And Garen gonna make that play. So we'll see where Garen goes after completing the tower. At least Garen will show us what the tower key item is. So that pink tail was behind the tower, the Twin Harp, which is at the tower key, which was at it was buried somewhere.
Oh
yeah, it was in the Baron basement throne, and I don't know where that Baron key is. So that if any of our runners were going to be looking for the pink tail specifically, long way to go to get there.
Yeah, there's no way that there's no way we would be getting it in within the path. It would be too much of a time loss to even get it. So thankfully we didn't have to say that.
Oh, and our restreamer Aaron Lore is saying Odin at the top of tower had that Baron key. So you go to the top of the tower, and then you return to and then you go to Baron, go to the basement, get the tower key, return to the tower, get the Twin Harp from there, and then go to Cave Magnus. Just good grief. What a hassle.
Yeah, that alone is too much time to just be spending on other things that's not just on your immediate path.
And we are joined by the progenitor of Mom Spaghetti and our first place on Restream, second place overall finisher, Vatasia. GG's.
Hey guys, appreciate that. Sorry, I had to take care of something immediately after the race, but yeah, that was a fun one, wasn't
it? It sure was. And it seemed like it would be a super quick one with two bosses available very, very early on. When did the blood pressure really start amping for you?
The blood pressure started as soon as I saw that we were given Edward and Porum to start, and all these boss ups, and I'm like, oh, jeez. So I mean, from the word drop, and this is an example of how you have to kind of change your routing on the fly. Like there was there were a lot of times where I the responsible thing probably would have been to check more key item monster boxes, but all of those boss hunts staring me down. I'm like, nope, I gotta focus on boss locations. So really, I probably could have given up doing that plague fight. I didn't. It was one of those. Oh yeah, I can do this. This should be easy, and it ended up being a bit of a time sink. But otherwise, yeah, it was kind of an interesting seed, all told.
Yeah, the plague fight ended up well, but there weren't a whole lot of key items hiding in Monster in a Boxes, so really it seemed like the objectively correct play was just to face check those bosses as much as possible.
Yeah, and let's see it. Looking at the spoiler log afterwards, the Darkness Crystal was in a monster box, I think, in the tower. And then the Pink Tail, which is the only other objective we needed, a key item we needed, was like behind, like it was like a 5 or 6 chain.
Behind Twin Harp, which was behind Tower Key, which was behind Baron Key, which was from the top of the tower.
Yeah, no one's gonna get that.
Yeah, I even said it too. Like, this is it. It's too much of a time sink to even do all those stuff.
No, and as soon as I finished the hook route and I saw top of tower was not one of my bosses, I said, well, I'm never going up the tower this entire race. And that proved to be a pretty smart choice. Even though, like I said, in normal Mom Spaghetti seeds, anytime you have monster boxes that can hold some value, like that's a very attractive play because you have 4 of those plus top of tower, plus if you have the keys, so you can have like up to 6 key spots that you can check. But yeah, just with the boss hunts being what they were, just let's fade it.
Well, now's your chance to tell Aaron Laura what you think of the rolling of the seed.
Oh, I'd made it a refund immediately.
And has that processed yet?
No, that's not processed. I will file the chargeback with my bank. I promise I will. But no, it was a good example. I like seeing the variety of routing decisions that you have to make on the fly with Mom Spaghetti. That was kind of the intent behind it. I never wanted anyone to feel comfortable with what they were doing. And also be in a little bite-sized package of free enterprise that you don't have to commit, 2 hours or more for. So.
Yeah, that's only happened twice, right?
More than an hour. Only a couple times. On the opposite side, we also, randomly have some seeds that are like sub 20 minutes, which can happen, but I don't hear anyone complaining.
No, and if they are complaining, you should certainly discount them because this is a fantastic club, one of the examples of what makes free enterprise community so special. So what was what was your favorite boss to find in this one?
Favorite? I had to do a double take when I saw Mylan and Friends in Mist Caves. I'm like, was that mine? I was like, oh no, wrong Mylan. Oh. Other than that, I'm glad I didn't bump into Wyvern because Wyvern is particularly bad because I don't turn Witchburn on, so you're gonna have to deal with a Mega Nuke one way or the other. I figured I wasn't gonna escape the seed entirely unscathed, and so when Golbez popped up there, I was like, okay. And luckily, Eddie of all players was my MVP for that Golbez fight. He, at 6 HP, he was my Star Veil, and he reflected, and he got the kill shot off. So go Eddie, I guess.
And final question from me, even though it didn't end up mattering in the end, how much fun was that Mount Ordeals with a Flame Spear, Dragon Whip, Cane on your side.
I mean, it wasn't horrible. I think at that point in time, Edward was also doing a little bit. I think he was still actually with the Sammy arrows and everything. So it wasn't bad. I think it was a bit of a time sink, but we got that spoon, and that really kind of ramped up the damage. That made me confident of everything else going forward. So not terribly happy it didn't lead to anything, but it made the rest of the seed a whole lot easier.
Professor, you have any more questions for Vatasia?
Not really. Honestly, again, congratulations on the first on Restream, second overall, and pretty good seed.
Fantastic. Thank you, everyone. Aaron Lord, Darth Plagueis, Renderer, Sheep Launcher, everyone behind the scenes for keeping us live for the weekend. Appreciate it. And if you like what you saw, join us over in the Discord, Mom Spaghetti Club. I roll a new async seed every Sunday, thereabouts, and then we have the live race every other weekend. So coming out, join us. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, and the async means you can do it on your leisure. You don't have to join us on Saturdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, although certainly we hope you do. But that async means it's a low-stakes, your schedule-friendly way to get involved in a lot of our clubs. So join the Discord and find a club for you. There will be one.
Absolutely. I will always plug this community as being kind of one of the most welcoming and friendly internet communities out there. Just being able to jump in, and even though we're racing and we're a competitive community, there's newbies corners and Pink Puff League and everything to end up helping newbies to get better and to improve upon themselves, if that's what you want to do, and just hang out and be super chill. So come join us out on the internet.
Yep. Well, GG's once again. Vatasia, always fun to have the Godfather running his own club. GG's once again.
Take care, all.
Garen, venturing through the Sylph Cave here, not going to find really anything of value. I don't think there's a single key item in any of the 7 monsters in a box here in the Sylph Cave.
I didn't see anything that that was in those spots when when I was going through the list.
Garen is rocking 2 Foos and a Tella at this spot, plus the Ed and Eddie. And those centipedes told Garen to get a life. And so Garen did. And this can be really frustrating, Professor, and I know I've experienced it before, where I just need one more thing and it's just not coming, no matter where I go.
Yeah, it's always the most difficult thing about racing in a random environment, just because you might be fine. You're at your last potential, at your last spot, and yet it's not showing up. It's none of the things that you want are showing up.
Yeah, so whenever the key items are in monsters in boxes, Sylph Cave, looks really appealing because it has 7 chances, but the average weight, the percentage chance that you get a key item from any one of those is lower. So Sylph Cave, to me, I think, as we found out in the last tournament, it's kind of a gateway to frustration sometimes. but Garen making quick work of these ghosts, especially. Even though ghosts don't seem to have any connection to the temporal world, they are susceptible to quake, which is one of my favorite little quirks. Like, ghosts are supposed to be floating. They're not supposed to be touching the ground. What is going on here?
Don't question it. It's just RPG stuff.
This might be the 6th box that Garen has checked. Something like that. And both of those breaths miss, which is nice. You definitely do not want to be on the wrong end of Maul Ball breath. It's just disgusting. I see the light! And Garen has counted and doesn't need to spend any more time in Sylph Cave. Garen's counted 7. No reason not to believe Garen on this one. So that's an interesting combination that Garen's Edward is rocking. A black sword and a spoon.
So with this check of this particular monster in a box, this will result in the Darkness Crystal.
Yes, this is the Darkness Crystal, and Garen has access to that 5th objective. Now we know Garen has access to Mount Hobbs that Garen has just never checked, but hey, and Garen's just not going to mess with it anymore. Going to summon that big whale that will give Garen access to the giant. And I don't think there's any reason to mess around here, Professor. If I were Garen, I would be going to that giant. I have the firepower. Maybe I get lucky and one of the bosses I need is at that first spot, and that kind of short circuits that a little bit. But either way, no reason to check any bosses any longer. Just go to the giant to get that done.
Yeah, this is the last thing you wanted to do, but Garrett doesn't know this, but the paint towel route is honestly a lot worse compared to this giant.
Yeah, and maybe you get lucky with a required boss in Cave Bahamut, but that's certainly not a guarantee. And so that's really the only place on the moon that would be any kind of time save.
Exactly.
Now, the last arm chest, we know from the key item log, does have a Luca key, which, if things had turned out differently, might have been interesting. Luca has a boss check, but with Garen's position, no reason to return to go check that. Are you left-handed or right-handed? I'm last-handed.
I'm something.
That's nice that Garen gave a Charm Claw back to the chest. Charmed, I'm sure. And so Garen, with those 2 foos, with the nicely anchored talent, both foos I believe are full powered for Garen at this point, has the Eddie with 255 attack power, has the Edge doing Edge things, certainly has more than enough to get through just about anybody here. Wyvern would not be fun in this first spot. Kainatsu could still be tricky. Baigen would be annoying, but with 2 foos ready to deal quick to Baigen would be manageable, I would think. It is a Sparkle. It could either be Pale Dim or it could be Wyvern.
It's
Or
Ogopogo.
Ogopogo. And so, that's no fun.
No, that is not fun at all.
And Garen going to get out of it and try and find a required boss on the moon.
I think it might be better off.
It is one of those things when discretion is the better part of valor, and Ogopogo in that spot is just a big oof, just a big no thank you. Gonna check Cape Bahamut first. Real quick check. Can see who's on the altar and reset out if necessary. That's a Kainatsu. That is not necessary. Gonna exit instead of resetting because did not save outside of Cape Bahamut. So, Professor, you feeling lucky? You going top down or you going bottom up?
I tend to go top down.
Here, I'm going to check out the hairdryer chest. It'll turn into a little more experience for their party. Banking that 1 quake will get rid of the hair dryers. They're still hitting hard. It's a good reminder that moon enemies still have the juice. And a virus to clean that up. And so there are 3 bosses here that Garen is trying to find. There's Lugae, there's Mylon Z, and there's Wyvern. 6 boss locations here in the lunar subterrane. It's not a guarantee even that any of them are going to be here. And I beg your pardon, 5 boss locations. Because there still is the Luca boss. There's still the package boss. There are still 3 bosses, 2 bosses we don't know in Baron. We know the first one is an Evil Wall. There's still the Tower Key boss. And there's still the last boss in the Giant.
There's a lot of other bosses that are there, and I just think that it'd be better just to go down here and see if it yields anything. Otherwise, Garen is in quite a bit of trouble since he chose not to do Matt Hobbs.
And Garen going to go top down. Certainly, when you only need one, it's the high percentage play. I'm going to walk by all the potential monsters in a box, which do not contain key items by the fact of the flag set. And here is Mylon Z.
Yep, this is it.
Much more palatable to Garen than that Ogopogo was. Getting that nuke, getting darts using Mylon Z as a pin cushion, a Thunderclaw and a spoon, not good enough, but no fire weapons. We'll just have to use that Legend Sword instead. And that nuke coming out. Remember, Mylon Z is not affected by Quake because Mylon Z floats.
And there it is. That's completion.
Yep, Garen has done it. Well done by Garen to stick it out through some roadblocks in order to complete those 5 objectives. Garen finishes with an official time of 1:21:33. Get those GGs out for Garen.
GGs.
Sticking with it. And so we'll see if Garen wants to join us for an interview. Certainly understand if Garen doesn't want to, but we'd love to have Garen if they want. And so we really do thank you for joining us for another edition of Mom's Spaghetti. And thank you to our restreamer, Aaron Lore, our cracker, Darth Plagle, and to Professor Renderer.
It's always glad to be here.
And we are not going to be joined by Garen today, so that will wrap us up for today. As Vitasia said, check the Discord for the asyncs for the next edition of Mom Spaghetti. Also on the Discord is the schedule of live events for the next week here on twitch.tv/Free Enterprise and on YouTube. Hi, YouTube. And that is really the best way to get in touch with this community, which is always outrageously fun and always a good time. So for now, we're going to send you over to RPG Limit Break. They are doing a relay race over there for Octopath Traveler 2's anniversary. So that should be fun. I don't know where we're going to be in that, but it should be a good time. So again, for Aaron Lore, for Darth Plagle, for Professor Renderer, I'm Sheep Launcher, and until next time, so long.
Take it easy.